Hey everyone, it's Adam here, and today I wanted to make a video. It's a Logic session breakdown of my new song, Bursting Into Color. If you haven't heard it, let's take a listen. Oh my. Pretty fun, right? Hopefully, the intent is just to kind of spread some joy. I really want the joy that I have from being a dad to really flow out through this song, and I know help some other people find joy. Okay, why don't we kick it off with the drums? Here's the whole drum sound. So this is like all the drums. Actually, you know what? From the top, here's how I started the whole song. I recorded some overheads on the drums. I actually sketched out the whole song. I didn't have the chords written. I think I had some lyrics written at that stage, but obviously I had 100 BPM, had some sort of groove, had something to say on the drums, right? So I slapped up my overheads and I literally just did a sketch of the song on the drums, just hearing something in my head. Even if you've listened to the song, there's a big kind of big rest on beat 1, hit on beat 2 in the chorus. That all came from just my little sketch on the drums first up. Here it is. It's still in the song. It's probably quite soft. Real soft and quite crunchy. I kept it in just for a bit of vibe. You can hear it in the pre-choruses and stuff. But anyway, so I started there, right? That's just overheads, bedroom drums. And then I went for some 909s. So 909 kick and snare sound like this. And this is, of course, you're hearing this through all this big plug-in chain here. I'll keep it on though. I might talk about the mixing stuff in a moment. But yeah, I kind of wanted this. I was hearing a bit of bands like M83, that kind of indie dance kind of sound. It ended up being a super poppy song, but anyway, the drum sound was a bit of a M83 kind of thing, which is 909s in my mind. So this is the kick, right? 909. And then later on, I felt like it needed a bit of more. Hear that? I've just laid another kick on top. Bit of more clicky, toppy bit. Probably wasn't cutting through in the full mix, so I just slapped another kick on there. Sometimes you need to filter out the bass. I didn't do that this time. But so that's the kick sound. Those two kicks. Here's the snare, 909 snare. Oh, here it is. And then I've got another. This is the Butch Vig something from that pack. Yeah, real dirty tail. I like that. It's a bit of an aesthetic thing. Bunch of claps. There's a 909 clap, a Butch Vig clap, and up here, my buddy Brad, he sent me a few other things to layer in. So he's got a bit of a glitchy snap and a shorter clap. My claps are probably quite wide, and he's got a nice little short up the middle clap. Then let's put the overheads back in, and then there's some 909 hats. And that's the drums. And there's up here, I had to do some cymbals separately because I'm in a bedroom. Just the way I do things, my workflow is I don't really do cymbals, but I have some samples of me playing a cymbal in this room that I just have in a folder that I just drag in. So that's this crash here. It's fully isolated, separate recording. Some crash. This little ding sound. Yeah, not a sample. That's me actually recording some little hand cymbals. These ones. Bing! have some of those from my mom. Thanks, Mom. Oh, this one. This is another one of my little just drag from my folder. This is me clapping probably 20 times, different distances from the mic, with a bunch of reverb on there. I use that quite a lot in my music. And some scrap metal. Oh yeah, this is kind of cool. Some huge stomps here at the start. There's actually, I can tell what that is. There's a Spitfire audio pack called Hammers. It's the guy that did the Saw movies. That composer. He's got this thing called Hammers, and it's all this like cinematic drums. Those are called surdos. Those huge, like big cinematic drums. And getting real into the weeds. Hope you're ready for like a long video, because I'm getting into the weeds. This one here, yeah, it's I literally took this hit and I reversed it, so you can hear, instead of boom, it's like that kind of sound. Solo that out. Yeah, so it's literally just that hit, I reversed it, slapped it there, so you get a bit of a sucking in to those big hits. Yeah. And then the scrap metal sound is also from that Hammers pack. There's some sandpaper over here. Yeah, literally some sandpaper on a block of wood, and just some clicks. They're probably just stock Logic. I can't tell. I bounced it down. Yeah, I record myself clicking sometimes, but I'm pretty sure that's just the Logic sampler. Bunch of snaps from there. So all of those powers combined. Let's give it a listen. I actually really love the scrap metal. One of my golden greatest friends, sadly he's passed away, Narayan Johnson. He used to do this scrap metal thing all the time, but he legit, one time I went and visited him in Melbourne, and we took had a Zoom handy recorder back in the day, before like iPhones could take good voice memos. We went around and like recorded birds chirping and a bunch of scrap metal in a tip bin and stuff. And he was in a band with his niece called Willow Beats, and at the time he would do all this kind of cool sampling, and instead of using hi-hats and stuff, he would often use like scrap metal or bird sounds, or like hitting his drink bottle, stuff like that. That to me is a real kind of like nod to my good friend. And he actually heard this song before he passed away, because this has been going on for a while, me working on this track. And he particularly loved that scrap metal. I think he knew that influence was kind of coming from him. Yeah, that's the drums. I'll show you the bus quickly. The drum bus. What we got going on here? I don't really because I did this song quite a while ago. It's been like chipping away style of mixing. So I don't really use this plugin much on drums anymore. I think I used to. Tone Centric is one of those one knob vibes where it's just one knob, and it's basically saturation. It's like a saturator. This is a preamp called Radiator, Sound Toys one. If I hit play, like very slight coloration. But all these like little tiny slight colorations like can really add up. If I take all the plugins off, hit play, that to me is really missing. You can tell like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these plugins here are all just adding saturation and harmonics. So it really feels a lot kind of heavier, beefier with all this saturation on. The Decapitator pretty much I'm always putting that on drums. I'm always putting this on drums. Devil Lock, like just real, what's that mix on? 8%, like real low. And of course, some EQ. You're going to see a lot of this SSL channel strip. I'm a bit of a subtractive guy, just taking stuff out. Except for that, boosting a bit of 3.5K quite a lot there. I don't know what that's about. Wolf Comp, I love Wolf Comp on the drums. And just some tape, Kramer tape. That's probably that's literally just the default. Chucked on there, see if I liked it, and I liked it. So that's the drums. Very I feel like pop drums these days are very much, drum machines, samples, electronic sounds, and very little live drums. That's not hard and fast rule, but this kind of style of pop is definitely less about live drums. But I did play live drums all the way through. Quite softly. Okay, so that's the drums. Why don't we keep the drums on? And I will show you the bass as well. Here's the bass. Oops. Yeah, that's the bass. That's probably going to happen a little bit too. I'm working on an 8-year-old laptop and screen recording and this big Logic session. It's struggling. I forgot to show you this. There's some little 80s drum fills. So there are heaps of slap on that. I'm using that Kramer tape. Has a cool slap section on it. That's just all slap and filtering out heaps of low end. And I don't know what that is. Oh yeah, that's just some reverb. Whole reverb. And I would have done that with, I like to use the Native Instruments. They've got the decades. They've got the 60s drummer, 70s drummer. So that's the 80s drummer on the big Perspex, the super 80s sounding kit. And I would have just gone on my MIDI keyboard, doo, boo, 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 and then put the tape on. Fun. Okay, back to the bass. So it's, again, you're going to learn that I like to use a lot of Spitfire audio things and Native Instruments things. And this bass sound, I'll just show you. It's so it's a Spitfire Audio Martin Ware pack that I just got it super cheap one year on the Black Friday sales. And a bunch of the sounds in it are just unusable. Really cheesy 80s kind of sounds, 80s sounds. But there's a couple of real gems, and this was just a preset that I spent a long time tweaking out, getting the attack perfect, the glide perfect, all these little filters, and the effects section here. And that's the main. That'd be this one here. That's the main bass sound. So it's real slidey. Womp, womp, womp. A bit of a pitch envelope thing happening. And then I layered on top of that another bass that sounds like this. A bit more of a grittier kind of stock saw tooth kind of sound, and you blend them together, and that's the bass sound. Oop, computer don't like it. And again, you know what, if I might turn off the drums, this big old plug-in rack here, just to help the computer. And yeah, let's look at if I turn these off, have a listen, see what. Really beefed it up. Again, some of the same plugins that are on the drums. I got this one. I definitely use this a lot on bass still and really crank it. I really like what it does to the bass, and you can get the output and input till this light is turning. Get this light turning like a yellowy orangey color. That's what I like on the bass. The same preamp, the radiator, SSLs again. I love the SSLs, and just taking stuff out normally. Obviously, actually boosted a bit of something there. What's that? Bit of 900. And at the end of the day, my advice would be reference lots, listen on lots of different monitors and headphones and speakers and whatnot. And obviously, doing lots of referencing, I was like, hey, my bass is missing some kind of something in the 900, 1K sort of area. And then I boosted it. Otherwise, I definitely start with subtractive EQ. And then same here, got another SSL. Again, boosting a bit of low mid, because I would have referenced and gone, my bass needs more, etc. And look, same stuff. I got an LA2A on the bass. That's always really nice on a bass. And I think actually there's, on the first SSL, there was some compression too. Yep, on the fast. When you have a fast attack, it's more of like a fat bass rather than a punchy bass. So because the kick was quite punchy, the bass can be quite fat and smushy. And then I got some decapitator and just this stock Logic sub bass thing. Boosting 82 hertz. Interesting. So funny, like looking back on a mix ages later and being like, wow, that's a strange move. But obviously I was referencing, and that's what I felt helped the bass. Okay, that's the bass and drums. Moving on, we got a crazy guitar solo. My good friend Jake Tuffin is just so, like, what a legend. So incredible. He sent me these 2 tracks of feedback. And I would have, that little stuttery, glitchy thing, I'm going to guess, there's a tremolo. So I just automated the depth and the rate and the smoothing on just the stock tremolo plugin in Logic. Just this guy. I'll just backtrack it. You can see it's doing stuff. And that's the rate, making it go faster. Square waving it. That's quite a cool production-y thing, I think. And then his actual solo, pretty much it is as he sent it to me. I've just got an SSL on there. It's frozen. My computer's too old to unfreeze that. But it's not doing much. And bunch of effects, like sends, not right on the track. Some chorus, only a little bit of chorus. Some reverb. This is a flange. I really love this flanger. This the Flange Factory. Flamingo. I thought it was called Flamingo Flange. It's actually super cool. I'll show you. Particularly on this very like Van Halen 80s-esque solo. The flange. The flange is where it's at. And some space echo on the Echo Boy. Just such a shredding solo. Then there's my guitars. Should have played my guitars first. Yeah, you know what? I only realized soloing them out. There's some flange on that. Yeah, cool. Quite a bit. I really like the sound of that. Just very clean Strat sounds with a bit of flange, man. Some SSLs on there and some 1176 let's see, what are the SSLs doing? Just filtering out things. Obviously, occasionally it's a good thing to boost this kind of presency area on guitar in the mix. You know, if it's not quite cutting through and you don't really want to turn up the volume, presence. That's kind of where a guitar lives. Then what's this one doing? Yep, boosting a bit of 1K as well. Yeah, and just pretty much bit of flange, bit of spring reverb, and some slap from the Echo Boy. But again, like very kind of like as I recorded it, just with some aux effects on top of there. Just rhythm guitar. And there's this like, I did a, like recorded in, this listen. That's just like on a delay pedal. Just get it oscillating and change the delay time to get those little sweeps. It's kind of fun, like recording those things in analog, like getting your hands on the knobs. Yep. Just fun. You got to have fun. You're in here sitting in a room by yourself. May as well have some fun, huh? Making music. These string stabs. Classic. Just such a classic like pop sound to have those string stabs. And I forgot there's even brass. Mustn't be very loud. Yeah, there's not much brass at all. I think that's kind of something that I put in like the very first demo and just kind of left it in but didn't really love it. Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah. Let's just listen. I want to see if that's really like cutting through. I might have to put these bass plugins. Oh no, what did I turn off? The drums. If I turn them back on, will the track play? Please, computer. Nope. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I could hear it there. Like soft. It's not like, it's not a big part of the track. I must have fell out of love with that. And turned it way down. Then those main synth sounds. I actually really like that sound too. It's I do this a lot. I think this is like I don't know if a lot of like pro producers would do this. This to me feels like more of a composer thing. I've made a lot of music for TV when you kind of you got these really quick deadlines and you kind of got to work quick. And my workflow as a composer has been stacking sounds on top of each other rather than spending a long time trying to tweak out the one sound. I would have started with this guy. This is another Martin Ware sound. Similar to, actually looks like I've just copied the bass one, the slidey bass, and just gone up the octave with some bit of a one note lead thing, and then I just layered on top of that. Yep, doesn't like that sound. Yep, this is cassette strings, another Spitfire audio thing, which is great. I use the cassette thing all the time. It's called Aperture, I think. Cassette something about cassettes. It's really cool. They like sampled a whole orchestra. They recorded an orchestra, then played that orchestra through cassette tapes, and then recorded the cassette tapes. So it's like, it's this bizarre doubly sampled tape. It's just so cool. And then this is another Martin Ware. I would have actually played in chords. Yeah. So those three powers combined got the full on sound. Which I like. Very 80s. So definitely 80s influence here. And just some EQ and reverb. Cutting out lots of stuff. And the SSL. What's the SSL doing, guys? Nothing. I don't know what that's on there for. Oh, a bit of compression happening and some filtering out. Yeah, not much. Yep. I would have spent a long time tweaking out this guy. I may have even started with this guy and then layered these guys on top. If you get the sound right at the source, you know, then you don't have to do much in the mix. That's kind of the idea I like to try live life by. Okay, we're up to the vocals, and this got a lot of plugins on it. I hope my computer will deal. I might turn the bass ones off so we can survive. But another day. Here we go. Vocals. No. We're not doing it.
Oh, my eyes see the world in shades of grey. Oh, my chest should rise and fall, but it doesn't move that.
Yep. Well, you heard a bit of it. That'll do. Heaps of plugins on here. Probably too many. And again, you know, I'm recording in a bedroom. This is the mic I sang into, just SM7. There's a baffle over here. I would have put this baffle behind me. Tried to perform well, get good vocal performances. But to get the sound at the end of the day, I tend to need to use quite a few plugins, unfortunately, at the moment. I don't use this much anymore. But at the time when I made this track, I was trying to use one of these plugins where you can put a whole chain in. And I ended up keeping some of what I did in this Neutron plugin. So just compression, EQ, a little bit of an exciter. And that's probably what I slapped on there in the demo of this song. And I've just kept it on. CLA Vocals. I'm a big fan of this guy. Controversially, I think there's a lot of hate for this plugin. But I really like it. Particularly these two sliders. This one, really, I just really like the sound of this rather than getting an EQ to boost the top or the presence or the really high end. And like playing with this, the input and output, till you get this light going orangey, yellowy color. I feel like that's kind of a sweet spot for this plugin. Again, this preamp, the radiator preamp, decapitator, probably, I don't know if it should be that early in the chain, but that's what we got here. A bunch of EQ, filtering out. It's quite a lot of filtering out the bass. Taking out a lot of the low mids. Again, we're in a bedroom, so taking out heaps of low mids. You had to take out cut lots of stuff. Another filter, some more. That would have been after referencing, need a bit more something. And then I'm pretty like classic 1176 and then LA2A. That's just such a classic combo, right? SSL 1176 LA2A, and then de-essing this waves sibilance. And oh yeah, there's auto tune on this, guys. That's probably controversial too. And weirdly, it's right at the bottom. Normally that would be like the right up here, first plugin I would reach for. I must be automating something. Maybe it changes key in. Oh yeah, it would be the pre-chorus changes key, and so I had to auto tune. Oh, I'm turning it off and on in certain parts. I'm bypassing it at certain points. For some reason, I liked to do that at the bottom. I don't know what that's about. And that's the vocal chain. This micro shift turns on, I think, in the chorus because there's a big old... Oh, let's see if this will play. It might.
bursting into color, coming alive, unraveling the wonder.
So see that? Watch this guy. Oh, don't watch it. No, because it turned on, the computer crapped out. But it
bursting into color, coming.
Yeah, sorry guys. What a fail. Anyway, it's turning off and on and highlighting certain lyrics in this vocal stack. What else do you need to know about the vocals? That's the lead vocals. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers in the chorus. Just single layers for the verse and pre-chorus. There's no bridge. There's a slamming guitar solo. There's some other layers here. Oh yeah, my friend Brad, what did he do? He must have like done some little tweaks to this whole stack and then sent it back to me, and I just faded it in, what he did. Let me just hear just the Brads. Oh, that's the BVs. So that's down here. He probably just melodined some stuff. Got it a bit tighter for me. And I've still got my BVs as well, by the looks of things. Another big vocal stack. You don't hear all that grittiness in the full mix, huh? Okay, if we're moving past the lead vocals, I got to turn these off so that you can actually hear this. Let's try that again. That actually sounds like super like overcooked. I don't really like the sound of that. Listening to it in solo. What's this sound like? Oh, these are the yeah, there's a lot of oohs in the pre-choruses. Here are the little color. Doesn't sound as bad. Yeah, I don't know why I reached for that sound. I probably would have done things differently, you know, if I was making this song again in 2026. Yeah. Anyway, it's fun. It's fun doing those big vocal stacks. And look, we're at the end. That's all the tracks in the song. I like to automate some different effects. What did I do with this whole reverb? Not much by the looks of it. Often, I can see, I would have changed the decay at certain points of the reverb, changed the decay of the plate at certain points. The slap, something's happened with the slap. I don't know why it's down there. But yeah, that's basically the whole track. Hopefully that's helpful to some of you. And also, I didn't really mention, like, when I mixed the song, I would have slapped on, I like to mix stuff with the limiter like already at the right loudness that I'm looking for. So this limiter, the computer's not going to play it, but the first thing I do in a mix, I get it all balanced and it's all tuned and edited. I've done all the panning and that kind of thing. Done the rough balance and prep stuff, ready to start mixing. First thing I do is actually like get the loudness right, because I feel like when you really like limit something, you kind of lose all the depth that you wanted in the mix, and that really that's something that frustrates me a lot. So I like to go bump, get the loudness like hitting at a good, like nice energetic level without getting crushed too much. I don't do this all the time, but I like putting a bit of Wolf compressor on everything, just a little kiss, 8%. So the Wolf comp is doing some coloration on the whole thing. And then I didn't actually show you what else is happening. Bit of tape, just a bit of EQ, bit of dynamic EQ, It's kind of pumping a bit of low mids out when it's a problem. A bit of presence was getting dynamically pressed down when it was bad. And I'm a mix, like top down mix kind of guy. So I started at the very, very top, the mix bus. Then I went to the drums. Then I went to the bass, like buses. I kind of just do these big broad strokes. And then lots of referencing. And in the referencing part, that's when you're like, oh, the kick needs a bit of this, or the bass needs a bit of this. And then I start really tweaking out stuff tonally. Anyway, I can't think of anything else to talk about in this session that would be helpful for you. And hey, you know what? I'm still learning. If there's something in here that you're like, that's wrong, bro, tell me about it. Like, help me out. Put in the comments. Any thoughts? What am I doing wrong? What am I doing right? And I'll try and make some more of these videos as more songs come out. If you want to support me and my music, Bursting Into Colors out now. Put it in your playlists. Give it some streams. Much love to you all. Bye.